By the time you've seen this video, I'd have finished Pacific Drive not too long ago. If that part sounded a little robotic to you, it's because I tried 3 times in a row, 3 takes, trying to say the word ago, because I realized that when I say ago normally, not too long ago, see that? Long ago? I don't pronounce ago, not too long ago. The reason I mentioned how long ago it was for me is because at the time I was playing a bit of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth in my spare time, and I completed Clair Obscur Expedition 33. You don't need me to review that for you. It's already a go for it, just go play it.
This right here is my favorite thing, ever.
Anyway, what I wasn't expecting was Pacific Drive to be a little over 20 hours for me to complete. So hop in, let's go for a ride. So the game's story takes place in 1998. You play as the driver. You don't have a name, so I'm just going to say you going forward in the Olympic exclusion zone out in Washington. Said zone has a lot of anomalies in it that warp and shape reality as you know it. So it's not quite the same for everybody, regardless of where you are in that zone. Some people can be next to you one moment, in theory, and then the next moment be thousands of miles away. That's just how often things kind of get weird with the fabric of reality in the exclusion zone. You'll encounter 3 other characters, technically 4 if we count the series of dead drops just giving extra fluff to the background of the story, but typically just these 3 characters I'm about to mention. Oppie, Francis, and Tobias. You'll never see these 3, but they will interact with you a lot over the radio. These 3 scientists are trying to investigate the goings-on in the area and have been doing so for a while. Now, being someone with a remnant, in this case your car, that can protect you from the zone and get you around, they essentially make you their errand boy as you dive deeper into all the mysteries that surround you. Also, your car will eventually drive you insane, and kill you, as all remnants have for other people who got attached to them. But you can ignore that part for now. I will say something gameplay-wise real quick. I have never encountered any situation where the more I've upgraded my car or whatever, the more it was endangering my health or something, so let's just say that's your stake in this race. That's its only narrative purpose. Or maybe it's not, I could be lying to you. Ooh. Anyway, let me just say that the performances in this game are great, and I could listen to those 3 banter all day, which is good because besides a shopkeeper you'll come across occasionally, they're the only 3 you'll really be hearing. Actually, correction, they're the only 3 people that you'll be hearing. You'll be hearing a lot of moans and groans and stuff like that out in the exclusion zone in general. That stuff is going to put you on edge. And you'll also have your radio blasting some really cool tunes and stuff like that. So that's great. Narratively speaking, the story is interesting and pretty straightforward, but I don't want to say much about the story, at least in terms of what goes on in it, because part of the fun of Pacific Drive is discovering it as you go. So just take my word for it. It's pretty interesting. So now I want to talk about gameplay because that's the real meat and potatoes I want to talk about. Pacific Drive is a first-person survival game where you'll largely be driving from destination to destination in search of parts and materials that will help you improve your tools, as well as your car and whatever personal gear you have on. Doing so will allow you to drive deeper and deeper into the zone to continue the game's narrative. Now, your hub is a garage somewhere in the zone that isn't affected by all the wonky things that happen there, so it's safe to upgrade your car and just chill if you want there. The game also has a dynamic day and night cycle. The reason I'm pointing that out is because driving around at night with 2 broken headlights and a prayer is scarier than almost every horror game I've played to date. Of course, I joke and I kid, but while the game isn't a horror game, it does get spooky.
It's spooky.
There aren't really any enemies. There's nothing that's gonna like jump out at you and attack you like, rawr, I'm a monster, rawr, I'm a goat. Nothing like that. But the various anomalies wandering about or just sitting there in some cases might as well be their own kind of enemies, especially when you're grabbing certain, I forgot what you call them. They're like things to help charge your vehicle so you can warp yourself back to the hub. Yeah, when you grab those, it destabilizes the area around you, so then all the anomalies, or a lot of them at least, will just randomly spawn around you. So that's fun. Yeah, that's great. I love turning around to see my car get yeeted into the air. I love it. Thankfully, that didn't actually happen, but the fact that it can is what scares me. As you might have guessed, each anomaly is unique and requires a different way to deal with them. The most obvious way is just swerving around them, just drive around the problem, but When you start getting them in various combinations, or they take up most of the road and your only options are to drive into a ditch and hopefully drive out of it, or drive headfirst into a tree, you'll need to make sure your car is prepared for that. So going back to the garage, you can pimp your ride with various defenses against anomalies and various elements, like you can insulate your car so it can handle electric shocks better and stuff like that. You can change your tires out for whatever kind of tire best suits you or the situation that you're going to find yourself in the future. I went with the off-road tires because I refuse to be confined to concrete. You can also research different recipes and/or parts to add to your car or upgrade the garage itself to ensure you have better stuff to work with. Frankly, I'm hardly scratching the surface of just how much you can do with your car and even yourself. In this game, you can customize some of the stuff you have on you, like get yourself a bigger backpack, get yourself something that can help you take fall damage a little better, if I remember correctly, etc. Is it etc. or etc.? I've heard both. I never know which one is right. Either way, you get my point. There's a lot. It's a game ultimately about maintaining and driving a car, which is also your only means of survival. So it makes sense it would be super involved. You'll have to give it gas, charge the battery, repair any damages, or swap out parts completely. You can also customize the car so you're dripped out in the 90s. And I'm not just talking about parts that help it, I mean just straight up cosmetics. Hang on a sec, I don't know if drip was a thing in the 90s. I was a toddler for most of the 90s, so I don't know. I need to look this up real quick. Can't find a direct answer, but I can give you something better. Slang from the 90s. You can also give your car some bling to make it fresh home skillet, get jiggy with that hella dope system. And when you're not quite feeling all that, you can chillax in the garage and bounce whenever you feel like it. Long story short, the customization is baller. Never say I won't commit to a bit. Saying most of that made me want to drive myself into a ditch. Now, driving in and of itself is something I was worried a lot about, not because I thought it would be bad, but because I loathe driving in first person. Yes, I know, get your jokes out of the way, but Daryl, that's how you drive in real life. Shut up. It's difficult for me personally in games because I'm used to other games where I drive and have full view of what's around me because it's third person. In Pacific Drive, however, that's not the case. You can't, to my knowledge, change your view either. Maybe you can. I don't think I ever saw a way to. But even if you did do that, all of what you need is on your dashboard, so there would be no benefit. Thankfully, I had a pretty good time driving. It wasn't super difficult. You just need to be aware and conscious of the fact that, much like in real life, you need to start your car, you need to park it, because if you just stop your car and get out, it's gonna roll. So you need to treat it like you drive in real life. Also, how well you can improvise and know what risks to take is the difference between rolling up to the garage in one piece and getting into a fender bender with a pile of rumbling electrified scrap. But again, the more you customize and upgrade your car, the better it'll be for you in the long run, to the point where you can afford a goofy mistake here and there and just laugh it off, rather than sad roll your way to an exit with one tire working if you get to the exit. Beyond all of that, I don't really have any complaints regarding the game, aside from the fact that there are some pretty rough bugs here and there, specifically ones where you'll pull up to a part of the map where a story mission is taking place and the game won't give you any objective markers. So you're essentially just going to have to drive around on that map until you find whatever you're looking for, which is very annoying. Thankfully, the game is well designed enough, at least in its environment in that regard, where you can take an educated guess where you might have to be. It's just annoying when you're used to having objective markers in that game, and then a bug happens and you don't get it. So you're like, okay, now I gotta rely on my eyes without headlights. Damn it. Is it clear from how often I talk about the headlights that the first thing to break on my car was the headlights almost every single time? Oh, side note, and I don't think I mentioned this earlier. If you're sitting there snickering to yourself like, Daryl, you could just rest or something like that, so that, you're not driving around at night. Well, there's no real way to do that in the game. And even if there was, there'd be no point, because you could leave your hub in the daytime, but time moves in real time for the game. real time in game. So by the time you get to your destination, it's probably going to be dark. So there's no point in resting. Think, Mark. Anyway, Pacific Drive was a fun time, and I'm glad I played it. It gets a go for it from me and is available on PC, GeForce Now, and PS5 for $30. And with that, I hope you've enjoyed your stay. I'm TUSDarryl, and I'll catch you guys later.